Hello again everybody and welcome to the channel. I've decided I'm going to make some videos for you. So first one in this little series that I'm now currently making is about my current setup on the RC600. If you go back to the very first video I posted, which I'll leave a link up in the top corner, you'll see like I set the pedals up a certain way. I'd only had it for maybe a few weeks or a few days even at that point. So it was all very new, but I do things very differently these days. So as you can see, I've got free falling selected. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through how I set up each of these pedals. And it's pretty much the same for every song that I do. There might be a couple of little variations which I'll talk about. But basically what I do is I use track 1 and track 2 for two different guitars. So I might have something with some chords, and I might have something with a bit of a melody or some finger picking or whatever it might be. So these are going to be two different guitar parts within a song. And what I do is I also don't need to make. I did have some like sort of sticky labels to say, oh, this is track 1, this is track 2, etc. But now I'm pretty much just using what's here. So you can see this is track 1. So I've got record, play, and stop here, and then I've got track 2, record, play, and stop. I'm going to talk about these a little. These are a little bit different with the current setup. But then when I go to mode 2, I've got track 4, which is here, and track 5, which is here. So that then I know when I'm setting things up in the menu, I know I've got track 1 and track 2, and then on mode 2, I've got track 4 and track 5. Easier for me to sort out all my controls and settings and things when everything is just written down properly as it is there. So what I do with the guitar on track 1 and track 2, and on 4 I just use it for my vocals. So when I know I go to the red mode, I know that I want to put any sort of vocal like call and response vocals or harmonies down. I'm going to stick that on track 4, and then on track 5 I use my guitar, but it's just for bass. So I know that all of my bass tones are going to be recorded on track 4. Sorry, on track 5. So we've got guitar on 1, guitar on 2, vocals on 4, vocals on 5. They're all set up so that only that particular instrument will be recorded to the track. So I know that guitars can only go to track 1. I know that none of my percussion or my microphones will go on track 1. It's only the guitars that are recorded there. And same as when I go to track 4, it's only my microphone gets recorded to track 4. No guitars get recorded there at all. So the reason that I've talked about these ones last is because this is track 3 and it's a 1-pedal looper. So track 3 here, this is going to be my record, play, and stop. It's just literally functioning as a 1-pedal looper. And then this one here is track 6, record, play, stop. So basically I have to be on mode 1 to access these because they do something completely different on mode 2. So running through everything, I know it's a bit complicated, but it's just the way that I like to do things now. I've got track 1 and track 2 and track 3 on its own on mode 1, and then track 6 on its own, and then on mode 2, track 4 and track 5. So you might be wondering, what do these do on mode 2? Well, on mode 2 they actually act as a couple of different things. The reason I've got a blue sticker and a white sticker and a green sticker is because on mode 2 these 3 pedals are used to create other things within a song, such as like some sort of a breakdown. Maybe I'll drop some percussion out of the mix, or maybe I'll boost something. And I've got 3 different options. I actually call this BX1, BX2, and BX3, so that when I'm using my iPad, which I'll talk about later, I know which of these 3 pedals I'm going to be pushing at any point within a song. This one over here, let's go back to track 1. This one is an immediate all start stop on mode 1 and an immediate all start stop on mode 2, just so that I can access it. If I'm on mode 2 and I'm doing something over here, I can always put that all start stop and all start stop on mode 1 as well. On mode 1, this is an undo redo, so that I know I've always got access to that. And on mode 2, we just talked about it being some sort of variation in with my dynamics or with my breakdowns within a song. And then we go into mode 3. If I hold down this, don't really go into mode 3 much, because I always have my effects, which I'll talk about on, But this is just an area where I can turn on and off different effects. So you can see I've got effect B, effect C, and then this one here is effect D. If I want to turn on and off effect A, I will use this pedal here, which is my harmony, and you can see I've got harmony selected as an effect, so I actually use my FS7 to turn on and off that. I do some of my other songs, I do things a little bit differently. I actually use this one as a track effect in case I want to just use a track effect. I might use a low pass filter, or I might use some reverb that goes on my vocal tracks just to give it a bit more ambience, or whatever we want to do with that. And then finally, again on mode 3, this is like a memory effects increase, this one, and effects decrease for this one. And then this is doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes it might be a tap tempo if I've got a song that I might need to just rejig. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So quickly going over it, we've got track 1 for guitar, track 2 for guitar, track 3. I actually just use this for some percussion that I'll use from the microphone, so shakers, tambourines, cowbells, that sort of thing. So only that gets recorded to track 3. Track 6 is my cajon, so only my minor pickup cajon goes to track 6, nothing else goes there. On mode 2, we talked about vocals, we talked about bass, and we've talked about these 3 pedals acting as some variation within a song. It depends what the song is, but they're going to act with just to give me a little bit of something different at different parts within a song, like the middle 8 might drop out or whatever. And then we've talked about an all start stop. And then mode 3. Again, these are going to turn on and off some different effects. Might be a track effect for this one. And then effects increase and decrease. And finally, this is just an all clear. If I need to clear the loop, I just push it down and it's all cleared again. Underneath that, we've got my GAFC, which is to connect to my Boss Katana amplifier. And I have these 4 set up to control or to turn on the different tones. So you can see I've got different colors here. So I know that if I'm using my electric guitar, I'll need to be on a certain, because I don't know if you know, you might know this, but the Boss Katana has, the one that I have is the 100 Mark II. So I've actually got access to 8 different tone settings. So if I use my electric guitar, I use the green one here. So I know this is a bass guitar, like a guitar to bass. This is a clean, this is an ambient tone, and this is an overdrive. And if I plug my acoustic in, I just hold this button down, and then it switches to my acoustic, which is acoustic bass, acoustic 1, which is for strumming, acoustic 2, which is for sort of finger picking, and then like an octave effect on the acoustic if I want that as well. If I press this button, I don't know if you can see it under there, but it actually accesses the effects so that I can then go into a tone setting and then put the booster on and off, put the modulation, which could be chorus or whatever, the effects, and some delay, and then some reverb. I don't really need to see those because I just literally use my 4 preset tones for my electric and my 4 preset tones for my acoustic. Might occasionally go into that. I have this little area here just because the way that this pedal board works, which I'll talk about in another video, is it's obviously the only way that I can fit my GAFC is underneath. It's sort of like on the bottom tier, if you like. And this just gives me access to get in here with my feet, because these are the 3 pedals that I'm mostly using. Over here we've got an FS7, which turns on and off my harmony, so I can have harmonies. This top one is a rhythm start-stop, in case I want to use any built-in rhythms. And over here we've got a Sonicake ABY guitar switcher, ABY switcher, so I can plug my guitar in A and B, so run 2 guitars into the side there, and then I just select which one I'm using. So I know my red one is for my acoustic, and my green one is for my electric, so that I can see that A is the red, and then B is the green one. And then over here we've got my Polytune Mini 3. So obviously I can just tune my guitar. This goes into this, and then runs out of this, goes into my amp, which I'll talk about after. Right, sorry, that was a bit of a long-winded video, but I just wanted to run through how things are set up currently on the RC600 with the majority, I would say, if not all, of my tracks, with a couple of little variations in there. Stay tuned for the next video, folks, because I'll be running through a few other things. I'm going to run through all of my gear, all of my equipment, and how I connect it all together. See you in the next one. Ta-ta!